Hello there, everyone. This is Super 17 here. Let me show you like usual. I downloaded this picture, not pay video. Alright, so, actually, even though I made the thumbnail, I downloaded the pictures. But anyways, last night I was gonna make make this part 2. But the thing was, I just got my homework. Was doing late. It was almost doing late. Well, actually, it was. I was trying to figure everything out. I was just stressing out. So I got it in, but it was late, and it didn't have no sound, and I don't know why. So I'm gonna be testing that out, try to figure out why. And when I find out, hopefully it will work. So yeah. Anyways, I submitted it with a video, but hey, it wasn't, done. It wasn't like having sound, so you know what? I just turned it in. I had to turn it in. I can get some credit at least. That's all. Anyways, so let me check something. Yep, I found out. Even though I put it in the feedback, it still didn't matter. It was in late, so I failed that class. Well, I think I got like a 71.35. I got 71 point something. So, yeah, I think I at least had to have passing grade over 70, so I think I barely made it. But hey, it's not my fault that I was having problems with recording issues, and that my uploading speed was very, very long. Well, not very long. It was pretty short, but it was just long. I don't know why I was having troubles. So let's just get into this, alright? Okay, so I'll figure it out later. So anyways, yep, this is when Naruto was neglected, part 2. Alright, so as I last left off, Shella, and, man, how the frick can I not remember her name now? I had it. Kali? Yeah, I think her name was Kali. Or Kelly. God. Yep, it was Kelly. So yeah, on his team, they're all happy and stuff. While Minato, not Minato, Menma is just like looking at Naruto, glaring at him. Sasuke is just smirking at him. And, Nakuro is just like pouting. Which Naruto sees. Well, more like, he's gonna be like, they don't even know my name, so why do I even keep the name Naruto? Reasons, just in case. But this is fun anyways. As he just, looks at two girls and goes like, so, do you think our teacher's gonna be here? Shiloh says no. Even, Kelly says no. Double checking that. Naruto just nods in agreement, because in this one, Ren and Obito did die. Minato didn't, so Kakashi's gonna be at least 20 minutes late. So yeah, so basically, everyone leaves. Kushina sees Naruto. He just says, he doesn't even wave hi to her, but she looks at Naruto, she says, Naruto! And she just starts waving. He goes, oh my god, no, why, Kushina, don't embarrass me. And he just waves hi, he goes, hi, mom. She had to embarrass him. That's what parents do. But for some reason, she doesn't embarrass Nakura or Menma, he's thinking, but then, now she knows she does. And it's so hilarious. At least I got a high in that, kid, childish way she did. But now she's, saying, my darling, she's just saying to them, come on, my darling babies, let's go and, teach you how to be a real ninja. As then, Sasuke looks at Naruto, he just mouths, help me. Nakura just says, no, Uchiha. And he's like, and Sasuke just puts his head down in shame. Sakura's going like, what? What the heck? And everyone, her team is still there. So, then her team leaves. Sakura looks at Naruto, just saying, I hope you fail, demon. As in Naruto just be like, wow, forehead. That's even more the most stupidest thing that has ever come out of your mouth. Oh wait, everything that comes out of your mouth is stupid. As she gets mad, but then for some reason they hear Sasuke in the distance just laughing. But we're going over to Kushina, Menma, Sasuke, and Nakura, as they just see him laughing, and they go like, "Why are you laughing?" He goes like, "I just had a feeling Naruto made fun of Sakura." He is right though. She is useless. As then Ben was going like, yeah, we know. And Kushina goes like, she can't be that useless. And he goes, her chakra control is only decent. And that's all she has. And smarts. That's it. She goes, she doesn't know no jutsus. No. Nothing. Zero. Zada. Nothing. Sasuke just saying. She goes, wow, that is useless. And they all say, we know, right? So basically after Sakura leave, Shella, she's looking at him, and she's like, I know she is useless, but you don't have to tell her that. Hey, who knows, maybe she'll try to work better. I mean, if she hears how her Sasuke is doing, knowing my mom, she's not going to teach him anything. She goes, what do you mean? She only cares about Menma and Nakura. Oh, more like Menma. I gotta have a clone nearby them all the time now. I just in frustration. But as Keller just says, well, I mean, I technically could see her chakra control was pretty decent, but she doesn't know no jutsus. Also, I hate her, like everyone in this village. And Shelta, just says same. As Iruko just feel like, wow, Kakashi's as an artist is late like usual. He's gonna be here in the next 20 minutes or so. So you can go, Iruka. Iruka goes, but Naruto, it's fine. Besides, I gotta talk to these girls anyways. Alright. Just be careful, Naruto. He's like, when did you care about me? Since always. As Iruka looks at him. He goes like, wow, that hatred from the Nine Tails, huh? Still can't suppress it. And then his eyes widen and he goes like, how did you... He goes, do you really think I'm... As Naruto basically says, do you really think I'm stupid? You do know Menma and Nakura have, 50% of it. He has the chakra. As then Naruto goes, wait. What? You really think they only have 50% of each side of the Nine Tails chakra? And what? I have the soul? As... Iruka nods. That's what Minato told us. As then he goes, no. Now, they have both the soul and 50% of the Nine Tails trapped within them. I have nothing. As then he just saying in his head, because I am the Nine Tails. So, as Iruka goes like, oh. As he gets his worried look, he goes, don't worry, I'm not going to destroy this village. Yet. As in his eyes wide, he was like, what do you mean? He was like, I'm not going to destroy it. I mean, there's one person that loves this village, so... And that's the only person who I care about in this village. Right, as of this moment, as he says, after he looked at, Shelta, and Kelly, and he just, then he says that. He goes, so I don't want, get revenge. I don't really care at the moment. As then, Ruko sighs and he goes, but then Naruto does say, you better keep this a secret, though, I told you. Don't want Minato to find out. He may, banish you. Or even try to kill you for this information. Because it's a highly classified. As, he nods. And Naruto is just thinking to himself, I have a feeling he's not telling the full story, but I'm not going to say anything more. I always did like Naruto, but my hatred did always technically make me hate him. And, I thought, everyone did think this to solve the Nine-Tails who's in him. So we messed up. And I'm just gonna do my thing now. He's just that's what he was thinking when he's walking away. As, Shelta and Kelly just laugh at this. And they basically just saying, you're evil. He goes, I'm a fox. What do you expect? As all of a sudden the ears do pop out and the tails. As they like, Fluffy must pet, and he's like, nope. As then he puts them back in, he's like, you're not petting my ears and tails. Maybe if I, sneak out of my house and go somewhere. As then Shelta says, Kelly's been living with us, so if you do come by, you do know where I live. So, we can pet your tails then? And he's like, they just give him the puppy dog eyes, and he's like, fine, just stop giving me those freaking weaknesses. That's his weakness, puppy dog eyes. So, yeah, they just do a little cheer for Ye, as he's just thinking, I'm a tailed beast, and I'm human. And I have the Sharingan now. I wonder how this is going to turn out. As in, just so you know, Shinsui appears and he's like, yo, I heard you got Kakashi. He goes, yeah. Did they know about you? It was, wait, what? Wait, you knew about me this whole entire time? He's like, Danzo figured it out pretty easily. I mean, basically, the whole entire thing about, you don't you basically have a, birthmark that looks like a seal on you. And plus, when your brother and sister have 50% of the Nine-Tails and you don't have any of the soul within you, if you did, it would probably went back to one of them at least. As he goes, yeah. And so Danzo found out about the seal, you know who I am. He told me. They're the Nine-Tails. What's your real name then? Kurama. Alright then. I'm just gonna call you Naruto. Because that's fine. So, yeah. Are we gonna just chit chat for a little bit and then, like, you leave? He's like, yeah, Danzo also want me to give you a message. He goes, what is it now? It's Minato. He's planning something. It's not with Kakashi. He's planning to disturb your tests with Kakashi today. Kakashi refused to try to kill you or try to, hurt you severely. Even if it was his, sensei's and fourth Hokage. Even if it was a mission, he said he couldn't. He's just a kid. Let's just say Minato had some choice words to say, and that was it. Kelly's mad, so is Shelta. And he just says, Livius, he thinks Menma should be dating at least Shelta. He goes, yeah. He's still on that. He's like, her father's choice, not mine. I mean, I'm not complaining, but come on. When is this old man like ever gonna give up on trying to make his son the prophecy child? Whatever. Thanks for telling me, man. He goes, no problem. As you know, he basically, right when he senses Kakashi, he just says, well, see ya. And Shinsui, disappears. Kakashi did walk in because it was like 20 minutes later. And he goes, hello, I'm Kakashi Hatake, and I will be your sensei. Meet me on the roof in, 10 minutes. As they all know the body flicker. Shoto's family would have taught her the body flicker. And Kelly already knew it. Naruto just basically just did it. But it was a little bit more faster than everyone else, and he was just sitting in a tree with his leg hanging off of it and his arms just behind his head and him just leaning. He was like, "What took you so long?" Like just smiling. As Kakashi's in shock, and then Naruto just somewhat rolls off and lands on the roof and just walking over to take his spot. So Kakashi says, basically, I'm gonna ask about your dreams and hopes and your goals. Let me know." And so they nod. He says his hopes, his dream is not your business. Then the second thing is his dislikes is none of your business, and his goal is none of your business. As Kama just laughs at this, and he goes, basically, he goes, "What's wrong?" He goes like, "You remind me of a certain Uchiha. That's all." He was like, okay. Kakashi doesn't get it because he reminds him of Itachi. So yeah, but anyways, what happens is that Naruto is going to be going after Shalta. She's saying her goal is to be with to make let's make her family even stronger. Her dislikes is people who judge people just because of what happened, or what things that are not true, lies, false information, and just hurt people just because they think they're better than everyone else. Her goal is to find a suitable boyfriend to then become a husband, like her mom did. She found somebody, and they've been in love ever since. Kelly just says, "My likes, training, my mother, my family, that's more, what should I say? Naruto, Shelta, Nakara, because, she's pretty nice. My dislikes, everyone else besides Nakara and Uzumaki family and this whole entire village." As Kakashi goes like, "Okay, can't blame you there," into himself. And her goal is to be with someone. She looked over at Naruto as Kakashi goes like, basically both girls looked at Naruto as Kakashi just eyes wide, and he goes like, "Menma, like Minato thinks Menma can get deserves a girlfriend, but this guy doesn't even do nothing, it seems like, and he just got two girls being liking him easily." He's just thinking, is he sure Menma his kid? Because this boy acts more like Minato than a little bit like Minato than Menma. And then, Naruto's just pretending he's clueless. Well, Kurama is. He's just pretending he's clueless. He doesn't know. He's just looking at Kakashi. I think he just looks at the two girls because their faces already goes like, "Hey, are you two alright?" And then you go, "Yep, yep." And they both look away from him as Naruto just says, "Alright, my dream. Well, my likes are training, ramen. Well, Ichiraku ramen. The people who work there, my sister." As Shelta and Kelly just saying, "I hope he says me," and then he says my teammates. As they smile at this, and I can somewhat get along with my mom recently, so I'm somewhat getting along with my mom. I don't really like her. I don't really consider my mother at all, but I'll just say mom just to give her the respect. That's all. As Kakashi kind of feels a little bit upset because he knows Kushina is a loving mother. That she favoritism, nine tails, So he kind of doesn't agree with them, with the Uzumaki family on this. And then Naruto just says, Killua and my master Killua and Ikki, and Shinsui and Itachi. As then he goes, "Wait, you said Kilowatt, right? He goes, yeah, Kilowatt's Oldic. Your master. Yep. He was like, oh god. Okay, your dislikes? This whole entire village. They can't even tell from a scroll from a kunai. That's all. Besides you. And Aruka. My sister. Kushina, I think, is somewhat starting to understand. Shinsui and Itachi did. Easily. Sasuke doesn't hate me, but he doesn't like me either. He just respects me enough. That's all. As Kakashi goes, okay, so your goal? And then he just smiles. He goes, to become Hokage of this village. And everyone is shocked when he said that. He just looks, they all just look at him in shock, and he just has a smile. And he goes, that's my goal. My dream, actually. Both of them combined. I want to become Hokage of this village and prove something to them. Just because what they call me doesn't matter. I became Hokage. I'm willing to prove it. Put my life on the line. That is all. So, that's my dream. As Kakashi just says, you're... As he's just thinking of Minato, you're just like him. As Naruto blinks, he goes, huh? Like who? He goes, no one. And he's just thinking, he's just like him when he was a kid. Wanted to become Hokage. Maybe I can teach him not to be so much like his father. At least keep the Hokage thing in check. As, we're going over to Menma, Nakara and Kushina Sasuke, when he says, I want to become Hokage just like my father and kick out a certain demon. As Nakara just says, he ain't a demon! Finally, as, Sasuke says, I gotta admit, with your sister, Menma, your brother ain't a demon. He hasn't done nothing to us to even prove it. It's just your family and the villagers that says it. Also, he told me about the Tomoes. Would a demon really try to help me out? As Menma just says, of course he would! Demons are always evil and manipulative. As Kushina just thinking, now that you mention it, he never really acts, but when we even hit him, he never even looked at us in hatred. He just looked at us in pity. Not looking down on us, just looking at pity of how much we've fallen, it seemed like. As then she clicks her head, it goes like, oh my god, that's what he was doing. I don't know if I should want to hit him or be scared of him. As an overwhelming knowledge of, the overwhelming sense of fear was kicking in, she goes, why am I so scared of my son now? As, Menma is just yelling at Nakara, Sasuke's just in the middle, and then Menma tries to throw a punch as Naruto just suddenly sensed this and appears out of nowhere. He says, Nakara, and overprotective, brother kicked in. Body flickered all the way over to, Menma, Nakara, Sasuke, and Kushina in a matter of seconds. Basically, it was like he did the flying Raijin with just a freaking body flicker. And boom, he's right there, holding Menma's fist before he even got to Nakara's face. He goes, you even touch my sister, I'll break your arms. As Menma goes, what? How did you? As everyone's in shock, and she goes, pick fire Naruto, Nakara says, as he just looks at Menma, eyes purely gazed on him. Menma can feel in fear. He's trying to bring out the Nine-Tails chakra, but he can't. It just won't work. He goes, listen to me here, Menma. I know what you're after. You're after the other side of the Nine-Tails within you. The good side that Nakara has. So you've been trying to get her to release it so that way the village will have to extract it from her. She'll die. And that way you then can take it for yourself. Basically. And it can't work as long as I'm around. Got it? So quit trying to think you're better than her. Or should I say better than everyone in this village. You're the weakest. got it. As then he lets go, as Mema just backs away. His arm does have a black and blue mark on it, like from his wrist, area. He has a black and blue mark. As he looks at Nakara, and Naruto does, and he says, "You all right?" She nods, and she hugs him, says, "Thank you," and she just basically pats her head and says, "No problem, sis. Gotta get back now." She goes, "Right, bye," and he body flickers back. As Kushina looks at Menma, Menma looks at his mom, scared, petrified, fear, as Sasuke even says, I'm glad I don't. I'm technically glad I don't have a mom right now. As Naruto just smiles at Menma saying, "You're dead." As so, what happens is, Kushina tells Minato, but that's later. So basically, Naruto gets back and he says, "All right, so let's sorry about that, everyone. So is that all, Kakashi-sensei?" He was like, "Yes." Let me guess, Menma did something? Was about to. Then Kakashi's overburdened protective senses went kicked in. He's like, "Yep, figures. All right, don't eat tomorrow." Sorry about that, everyone. I had to sneeze. So yeah, so what happens is, Kelly and Shelta, be like, just ask Kim saying, "We don't have to eat. We have to eat, do we? It's, yeah," Naruto says, "Yeah, just team building exercise. I'll see you two later. I gotta head home. I have a feeling I can sense my mom and, Sas. Since my mom, Emma, and, Nakara heading over to my home, I'm probably gonna be kicked out. Who knows?" As then, he body flickers away. They both just smile and it says, they both say, "If he gets kicked out, should we invite him to the house?" As they were like shocked, they thought the exact same thing, but then they nod. And so what happens is they, Naruto is there home right after they got there. He just slowed down. He just jumped on the roofs after a while. He basically saw some villagers talk about how Naruto was different than Menma. Menma's more of a spoiled brat, and it's kind of annoying sometimes. He's more mature, Naruto. They're hearing like how they're liking Naruto a little bit more than Menma. It's kind of shocking. Truthfully, he always thought the villagers hate him. He just shrugged it off. And, we just leaving. He's not gonna ask no questions. So when he gets home, he hears Minato and Kushina fighting. Well, yeah, fighting. As when he walks in, he hears Minato say, "Hey, Menma would never do that to his sister. It was the demon's manipulation." As then, Kushina saying, "No, our son is trying to kill our daughter for the other half of the Nine Tails. How can you not see that?" And he goes, as Minato says, "When the demon gets home, we'll basically make him prove it. There's a truth seal that I have that will work." As Naruto just says, "Please, that truth seal of yours will fail on me. Because you'll just make it that way where it'll always tell lies. So how about I make it? I already copied it down already from your studies." As they all see Naruto just leaning against the wall. He was like, "Really? Alright then, fine." As he does some hand signs as his truth seal. As he just has a little mark on his, like, he touches like his chest, and then a seal appears. And then he does exactly the same thing with Menma. As he goes, "Alright, it should work now. Ask questions." As Kushina says, "Okay, Naruto, do you ever try to take the power of the Nine Tails from your sister?" He says, "No, it glows green." Menma, he asks the same question. He says, "No, it glows red." Which Naruto's like, "What?" As then Kushina says, no, as then Minato says, he just asked Naruto, "Have you ever, wanted to kill your sister?" He goes, "No, I love her. She's my sister." As then he just copies Naruto memo. It's a lie. As well, they, I guess, ask serious questions. Naruto's always answered truthfully. Menma only answered three truth whole bunch wrong. And Minato says, "You had to." He goes, "Do it yourself then." And so he did. They put the truth seal disappeared, and Minato did exactly the same truth seal. That's the exact same questions, same results. Which Naruto was shocked because he goes, "I thought you rigged mine." Which Minato says, "I was going to, but I needed proof now. My son." And he goes, "Yeah, don't even try to give me the Nine Tails chakra. He'll die. He's too weak without it anyways." And he just suddenly puts chakra through the truth seal that's on him, just to get rid of it. He goes, "Oh, see you guys." He goes, "Huh?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm not gonna live in this household anymore. I'm done with this whole entire Minato and thinks Menma is the child of prophecy. Didn't Jiraiya say it could be any one of your children? And you think it's just Menma? That's so stupid. It's funny." As then, Minato says it had to be Menma. He was born just like you on the same day, and he goes, "Yeah, born, but may not be the child of prophecy." And I could have been the child of prophecy. So let me point this out. If I was a child of prophecy, what do you think I would do after finding that out? About this village and how you would treat me and this village would. Minato would say, "Hate this village, hate us," and then try to destroy it. He goes, "Exactly. So you better keep an eye open at night if I ever decide to. But I'm not. I'm not going to right as of this moment. I haven't decided yet." As, Kushina just technically says, "Oh yeah, by the way, where have you been at night?" Which Minato just swipe drops. He goes, "What do you mean?" As Naruto goes, "Wait, you mean you're not sleeping here at night?" "Oh. Yeah, there was technically a woman that came over here and asked for you. Just some random woman. I'm just making it." As Minato goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, she looked really, really panicky and flustered." As Minato goes, "Oh crap." As just then, for plot's sake, that woman also knocked, so Naruto answers it. He goes, "Oh, this is the woman? Hey, Minato! She's having a baby in her arms." In which Kushina goes, "What?" As she runs over. It looks like him. It looks like Minato. As she looks over at Minato. He goes, "I can explain." Basically, Minato got drunk. We're overworking. He got drunk, and yeah, that's all he says. Kushina's mad at him. She wants a divorce, which she says, "But I love you." And then the woman says, "Good. I mean, that's good because I don't want this child." As Naruto just says, "Really?" She goes, "You're lying. You're just trying to say that so Minato doesn't lose, Kushina. You're a good person." Which this person did not want to try to ruin the relationship. She was just saying, she'll give the kid to them and that's it. She'll get out of the kid's life. But, Kushina doesn't want that. From one mother to another, she can't do that. So, yeah. So, that's what happens. Kushina is leaving Minato. Minato is upset. Menma is going what? She's taking Nakara. And, they're leaving. He goes, "What about Menma?" She goes, "Keep him." Not keep him, saying he wants to stay here. I want, I don't want him around because he's going to try to kill her. So, I am taking Nakara and then Naruto. As he goes, "Hold up. Don't take me. I don't want to even be, we don't even like each other." She goes, "Yes, but we can get along. At least you don't try to kill your sister. That's the only reason why I'm taking you." And he was like, "Alright." So he goes over to his room, takes out a scroll, and seals everything in it, which was just clothing, some books, scrolls, whole bunch of weapons. And then he just has a scroll just walking out. He goes, "I'm all done packing." He just says, "Multi-Shadow Jutsu." And then they basically he only had a few scrolls out, so he goes to Nakura and Kushina. Nakura's room, Kushina and Minato's room, and then they get Kushina's stuff and put it all in a scroll. 3 separate seals in each one to scroll since they had like a lot. So yeah. And he says, we're all packed. She throws them the scrolls to each other, right, to each one. As they catch it, he goes, wow, that's, how did you, he goes, I'm a freaking Uzumaki. As no, that he's just saying, not really. He's pretending he is. So he goes, of course I'm gonna have to learn about sealing sometime soon. Also, this is technically one of the freaking basic sealing jutsus. So come on now. Which they agree. So, but the manager says you can't find a place to stay. As then, for some weird reason, Naruto has a feeling that's gonna be okay. So he just says, "All right, let's go." They go, "Where?" I have no idea, but I have a feeling I know some people who can help. And when they walk out, Minato is on the ground crying, and Mama's going like, "How could how could you do that to Mom?" And the woman that that he cheated on Kushina with did leave with them, because he just says, "Better come with us," because technically he's a rotten dad to me. He treats Mema like he's the Messiah or something. I don't know what's wrong with him. So yeah. So they leave, and let's just say, right when he was walking over to Shelta, Iki, and Stella's house, which Kelly's there, Naruto heard some people screaming, and then he just blitzes towards them. And let's just say these are just some people that are basically a part of the Hyuga clan, but not the main branch. They're the people that work for that help the main branch ones. Ones that have the seals on their heads, along with the main branch. Like it's basically Hinata's father, as these people are just don't really care about the Hyugas because the Hyugas did something to them. They want revenge, so they try to kill the main head, Hinata's father, and his 2 bodyguards. As all of a sudden, they figure out, these men try to figure out a way how to stop the Byakugan from ever hurting them. And so right when they're about to basically kill Hinata's father, Naruto comes out of nowhere and just kicks both of them to the side, and and they went into the wall as he lands. And he goes like, as then Kushina, Nakura, this woman, and the baby, are just there. As he goes, "Yo, what's up?" He goes, "Naruto, thank you." They had some type of armor to block off where the chakra points are, and I couldn't even pierce it with my, my 64 palms. He goes, "No, all right." That makes sense. And he just looks over at the armor. He just flicks it and it just breaks. He put a little bit of nen and chakra into it. So he does exactly the same thing again. He goes, "Can you see them now?" He goes, "Yes." Alright. I'll let you deal with this. As he sees Kushina and Nakura, he goes like, "Naruto, what happened?" He goes, and then he explains the whole entire situation, and even about how Menma has been trying to kill Nakura, or try to get to release the Nine Tails, so that way the council would take Nakura's tail beast and give it to him. That's what he thinks. But hey, it was a stupid idea from a stupid kid, he says. And Hana's father just puts his fingers right between, just starts rubbing his head. And he goes, "That brother of yours is a real idiot." And he goes, "Yeah, you can tell me." He goes, "So, do you need a place to stay now?" He goes, "Yeah. Do you mind?" He goes, "No, not at all." As he goes, "Wow, Hyugas. Can I learn how to do the 64 palms?" As Naruto just smiles at this, and then basically Hinata's father just laughs at this. He goes, well, technically there are pressure points, so I mean, I can base it off of, a style based off the doing the 64 palms technique. You know, the, their gentle fists, I think it was called. Whatever. I'm just calling it 64 palms. He's just try to learn the 64 palms. That's all. And he goes, that'd be quite interesting. And why not? I mean, you saved me. I'm giving you a place to stay, and well, your family needs it. So I say my life and me just helping out Kushina, the sister, and you, and who's that woman behind her? And he goes, oh, the woman who my dad cheated on with my mom. As he says, with Kushina on. He says the woman that he got drunk and slept with had a kid, and basically Kushina, when he was still married to her. So he was like, all right, yep, you're coming with us. And so everything happens. Hold on. So Naruto, Nakura, Kushina, and this random woman with the child of Minato in her hand basically get back to the compound. She says she does have a place to stay. She does have her own place, but Hinata's father says, no, you're staying here. As Naruto goes, well, where we're sleeping? Probably with the people with that cage symbol on their heads. Oh, so no, we're gonna give you your own place on this. We got enough space for a house here. He goes, wait, what? And so, let's just say, in a matter of, well, not seconds, but in a matter of hours, say it was like mid-afternoon, still midday, he says we're gonna build a house, and, they got the necessary equipment, and Naruto just made multiple shadow clones. Multi-shadow clone jutsu helped out, which only took like 4 hours to build a freaking house, a miniature house, to basically have enough room, to walk around the own place. As he does say, all right, you got there's gonna be needed some stuff. So, they walk in, Kushina, Nakura, Naruto, and they unseal the scrolls in their separate rooms, and boom. He puts everything he needs in there. He even took the beds. He even took the beds in their room. His bed was old, like very old and small, but he didn't care. He never really slept on it. He just used it as a place to store weapons. So, yeah. He's always slept on the floor. So he's in his fox form. No, he always just slept on the floor. Not his fox form, but regular. So, yeah. So, yeah, when Nakura Kushina came in, they see all these weapons in his old bed. They were asking, how did you get the beds in there? He was like, it was easy. And also, they see how his mattress is, like, how he just, like, lifts it. And he made it to the point where he could lift it, and there's, like, a whole bunch of weapons. Like, it has, like, stashed in his bed. And they, like, what the? Even Hinata's father came in and asked how, as he sees it, he goes, he goes, over the years, also, you always got to be prepared. And Naruto goes, ooh, what's this? As he takes this bottle filled with liquid, he goes like, don't ever touch that. This is a highly deadly poison that can probably kill you in a matter of seconds. As Kushina goes like, how the heck do you even have that? And he just starts laughing, and they go, what? He just says, it's just freaking juice. He goes, huh? It's my own blend. He takes a sip of it, and it just, all of a sudden, he gets a little bit more, like, awake, because he was, like, totally tired. He was like, it's like a, I call it juice because I use grapes along with raspberries, orange juice, and apples, mix it together, and plus it has a whole bunch of sugar in it. It tastes pretty good. Not gonna lie. As there's, like, multiple, like, little containers, he goes, like, so Kushina asks, how many things do you have? He goes like, oh, this is just the freaking stash I have. I have more in a place outside the village. And she goes, oh, you're gonna try to open up a shop someday? He was like, yeah, hopefully. People like it and all. I do. Hana's father says, "Can I try it?" He goes, "Sure." So he tries it. He says, "Wow, this is delicious." He goes, "Thanks." I don't know how I thought of this. I just did it. I said anything because I was trying to recreate a sake flavor, but hey, juice works better. It's not alcohol. It's just a juice. So yeah. So after that happens, he Hana's father says that he does have some old stuff that they don't need in the place, and the Hugo compound, and they set everything. They get all that stuff into the house, so they got some furniture, some pots and pans, and basically Naruto says he's gonna make some couple of shot clones, as he makes about 20. A couple of them are gonna go food shopping, and the others are gonna go help out this woman. Actually, let's just give her a name now. Yeah, since she's gonna be part technically of this family, living with them. Let's just say, hmm, Molly? No, Molly. Let's just call it Molly. As Molly says, "You don't have to help," and he was like, "No, no, no, come on." As she leaves. So after a couple of like 3 minutes later, the shop clones come back along with Molly and the ones with the groceries and stuff. So yeah, so that's what happens. And um, Kushina says you technically need to buy a better bed, better bed for yourself and a bigger frame for it and stuff. He goes like, "No, I don't need a bed. I'm okay like this. I've been always sleep on the floor since I was probably 7. No, probably 12. No, 10. Started 10 years old. I started sleeping on the floor, so I'm okay with it. It's pretty comfy." And she goes, "No." And so, um, Hana's father says, "I have an old bed that no one uses." He goes, "Huh? I thought you guys usually sleep on the floor." I goes, "Yes, I tried it. I would sleep on a bed, but I couldn't help but sleep on the floor, thinking better." So he gives that to Naruto, as he goes, "Wow, that's a pretty decent sized bed, as it's like not bigger than his room, just like bigger, a little bit longer than his old one." So he says, "What about this then?" He goes, "No, just put it to the side." And then he basically just, well, instantly had like he just basically used like kunais and like put them into a wall and just then like put because there was like a little hole for the kunais to be so they could hang on. So basically that's all he does. He just hangs it right in his room. The freaking bed, the old bed, and it was like he just lifts it up as it can be seen with all these like weapons. As like how you make it folded to where the it what Kushner's just thinking, and he goes, "I'm pretty smart." He just closes it again. He's using like a chest, basically storing chest. So yeah, and so they all eat. That night though, Kushner sent a message to Jiraiya. He got it. He sent a message back to her. And then Hinata saw Naruto. She just says, "Ugh, why is he here, father? And why is Nakura here and Kushina?" And her father explained it to her. And so she goes, "Why are they here? Why I'm okay with them, but why is he here?" As in he goes, "Hinata. This he saved my life. And I never really did. I never really hated him. You know that." And she goes, "I know, but still, Pima is better than him." As in he's about to say, her father's about to to basically yell, as Naruto just says, "A brother trying to kill his own sister for power." Yeah, that's real good. I don't ever want to go help out my mom or something. I'm sorry about that, everyone. But anyways, as I was saying, as Hinata looks at Naruto with a little bit of anger in eyes, and he just shrugs it off. And so he just says to Hinata's father, "Can I, see how you do the 64 palms technique?" And then he obliged, which Hinata is furious, well, doesn't understand. And so After looking at after seeing how it's done on a dummy, he tells Naruto to try it, and so he does. He gets most of it right off the bat. He's able to do most of the steps, but he only up to 20, which is impressive on his first try. And so he just tries it again, and again, and again, and again, like for 3 hours straight, and then he got all 64 palm, well, 64, But he used pressure points, in which that is amazing. He says he doesn't need to hit all the pressure points because that would kill someone. So he just will have it more like he'll infuse his chakra into the pressure point to then go into the chakra stream, and that way he's able to then sense where each chakra point is. So, yeah, that's kind of impressive. It was impressive. That's awesome. It was, yes, it is. So, yeah. So, he goes and eat dinner with Kushina, Nakara. Nakara and him are getting along. Kushina is just talking to him. They both don't, see each other as, still mother and son. But they're just they're just getting along. Because, he's willing to protect Nakara. So that's one of the reasons why. So yeah. That's why he's there. But anyways, after that night, he wakes up, he eats breakfast. He made everyone breakfast in the house. And, when Kushina wakes up to make, breakfast and all, she sees everything's ready. And then, she just sees Naruto leaving. In which, kind of surprising. So yeah, so they go all the way, he gets all the way over to the, training grounds. So, yeah. He asks if they ate. They say, did you? He goes, yep. Got out of my house. He goes, wait, what? Both of them said that, Shota and Kelly. They say, wait, what? He goes, yeah. Kushina, left Minato. So I live with Kushina. She's not really bad as Minato, but it's just because Nakara kept on killing Nakara. So that was the reason why. They both nodded, because, Kelly knows this. She's seen it. So yeah. And Stella kind of heard rumors from some guys that, that Mema hated his sister and wanted her dead for some reason. They didn't know, but yeah. So, anyways, after that, after they just chat for a little bit, Kakashi comes. It's the bell test. So this is gonna be a pretty quick one. As basically, they say they already made a plan. They were talking basically about the plan. Don't sneak, just do what I do. They go, So yeah. So when he says begin, he has the book out. But he gets the book out. He doesn't open it, but then, so then he puts it away. He takes out the Sharingan, and it's like, he can send someone, two people. No, 3 people. Like, all 3 of these Genins are not Genins. He did remember that they all knew basically the body flicker. So, Naruto just looks at Kakashi and goes, taking us seriously, huh? As he nods. He goes, alright, girls, let's do this. And so they go, right. And so what happens is, they all rush in. And Kakashi thinks, I wonder how they're going to use their teamwork. So, basically how they're going to use their teamwork. Naruto does some hand signs. And he says, Earth Style! Earth Dragon! As then the dragon comes up as, Shelta brings out a sword and says, Fire Style! Blazing Dragon! As then Kelly says, Water Style! Water Dragon! As Kakashi goes, wait, what? He couldn't even see Naruto's hand movements. Shelta didn't need no hand signs with her sword. And, Kelly just did some hand signs, which were normal, but he couldn't, attack like 3 dragons at once. So he had to use a substitution. As then Naruto nods to them as they go in a different direction, in which Kakashi doesn't understand. Naruto blitzes towards, Kakashi. Hold on. Alright, I'm back, everyone, but I have some lunch, so hold on. I'm gonna eat this and then I'll, come back and make the video. Alright, we're back. But so, as he, as Naruto is blitzing towards Kakashi, he makes multiple shadow clones. He says multi-shadow clone jutsu, as he makes around a good 15 of them. Which Kakashi is pretty surprised, as then all of a sudden, he's starting to see multiple images of Naruto. Like, the shadow clones are even doing the after image technique. The assassin's technique. That he learned from Killua. And Kakashi knows this, but he can't tell which one's the real Naruto. As when he tries to go to strike one of them, it disappears, but then another one suddenly jabs his finger into one of his pressure points, which didn't do much damage since he was only trying to put chakra into his, into his chakra stream to see where it is, and to get a sense for it. As then he goes, gotcha. As then all of a sudden, multiple clones, the after images are starting to disappear, and then he sees the clones. So he goes through every single one of the clones, leading it up to the real Naruto, as then he says, 64 palms! As then he starts doing all 64 palms on Kakashi's chakra network. And during this time, Shelta and Kelly have, waiting for this. As, they basically use, Stella uses a hand sign for fire. As she says, great fireball jutsu. As she, froze it, as then basically Kelly says, great waterball jutsu, equal in power. So they land right in front of, when they both collide, it's right in front of Kakashi. No, not right in front. It's right behind Naruto. As then it makes a whole bunch of steam where Kakashi can't even see him. He's like, what the? Where? As then Naruto just swipes the bells and even cuts one in half. And, when the other two appear, he gives a 1/2 to each, to each one of them. He gets the whole one. And he goes, nice work, team. As, they, start cheering, both of the girls start cheering. As, when the mist clear, Kakashi goes, well, you guys passed with flying colors. Excellent teamwork. It's like you two been working together for the longest time. As Naruto says, nah, it's just, we made a plan. And this was it. Also, let me fix that. As Naruto basically, can still sense his chakra in Kakashi. As then he says, open. Chakra network. As all of a sudden, all his chakra networks are being popped open. Forced open basically. As Kakashi can feel his chakra flow back. He goes, how did you... And, he's just touching the same pressure point. As he stretches his chakra, he goes like, it was easy. So, who wants lunch? As everyone says, me, and then he says, Kakashi's treated. Naruto asks Kakashi, goes, what? I never agreed to this. He goes like, we beat you. 3 gunnings. He goes, okay, true. Let's go. And so they eat out. Minato basically will find out he'll be kind of upset. Well, he'll be upset, but he's more upset about Kushina leaving him. So, yeah. So basically, Menma and Nakurasake passed. So yeah, so let's just skip to a couple months, a month of this, training going on, D-rank missions. The whole entire thing where, getting the cat, helping out, he gets the cat pretty much easily. Which is kind of surprising because, well, Kakashi, Natsus, Shelta, and Kelly. Which he goes, how are you two not surprised by this? He goes, well, Shelta says he was trained by my father, and Kelly just says, I've been watching him, train, so I'm pretty much used to this. I know his true speed, so yeah. As Kakashi goes, all right then. Yeah. So after completing the same mission, like they in canon, um, Naruto doesn't canon get the cat. He gives the cat back to the owner, and he just says, "I'm glad not him." And so Minato's there. He's looking like a shell of his former self. So it's Hiruzen who's giving out the missions. Kushina, Nakara, Sasuke, and Mema all walk into. As Hiruzen says, we're going to need this on a two-man team. Nakara, Mema, Sasuke, Kushina, and Kelly, Shelta, and Naruto, Kakashi. I assign you to a C rank mission. It may be to at least a rank mission. As Mima says, "Oh, you just need me, on this mission. I can beat this all by myself." As Naruto says, "You may have chakra, a vast amount of chakra, Mima, but you don't have experience, nor the jutsus to defeat A to B rank mission by yourself." As Mima's kind of mad. No, Mima's mad because he's right. And Hiruzen just kind of laughs at this. He goes, "Yes, Naruto, you are correct. So, here's your mission. Protect this man." As, well, Tazuna walks in. He goes, "So these are the kids who are, watching me?" He goes, "Yep." He basically looks at all of them. He sees Shelta, Kelly, Naruto. He's thinking, wow, these kids, I don't know why, but I have a feeling I can't say nothing about them. As Naruto's not wearing the orange jumpsuit, the orange suit that he would wear, he's basically just wearing black. No, he's wearing his normal black outfit that he usually would wear. What Killa gave him, and so he just looks at the other team. He goes, "Hey, oh man." It sounds to look like it was like, "You didn't say anything to me about my sister. They're gonna need you in a body bag." As everyone looks at him, he goes, "What?" He goes, "Wait, body bag?" He goes, "Yeah, for the guy that you're gonna, tell me who's messing up your village." Duh. As he goes, uh, 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 "What? How did you?" It goes, "Truth be honest, it can easily be tell that you're hiding something. So I'll find out sooner or later. But all I can tell is someone's preventing you from doing something. There's probably gonna be a bounty on your head from that person, and I'd rather just get the show over with and just hunt him down and kill him." So yeah, Lord Third, you can just give me this mission as an assassination mission. I'll just go do it easily. As Hiruzen looks at Naruto, goes, "Naruto, you're not as then he goes, I was trained by Killua Zoldyck. You really want to freaking tell me I'm not good enough to be an assassin?" As everyone heard that name, Kakashi knew. Same thing with, Shota and Kelly. So they're like, "What?" Even Mental perked up. He was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, duh." I mean, I think it should be known. Some people have seen Killua be in this village for about how many years now? Until I was 13. I met him when I was 9, almost 10. So around 13, he was with me. So yeah, I had enough time to learn from him. So, come on. As Hiruzen nods his head out of shock, he goes like, no. This will be a C rank mission at the time, but if it turns out to be A or B rank, we cannot, do anything about the pay." He goes, "Oh no, we'll find something out about the pay. Don't worry." And so, you know, Kakashi says, "I'm Kakashi." Hatake, Kushina says, "I'm Kushina Uzumaki. We're the Jonins that will basically be on this mission." So yeah. Oh yeah, and Tazuna says Menma looks like Menma's just wearing the orange outfit. He goes like, "Who wears orange?" And who wears blue? Sasuke. He leaves Nakura out of it because of what Naruto says. So yeah. So they leave the village. I mean, no. So basically, Kakashi Kushina says, get everything ready. And yeah, so Naruto, Nakura get back to their house at the Hyuga compound. And Hinata is not there at the time. So when they get back, Naruto goes into his room, takes a couple of kunais and a couple of zenbones and a couple of scrolls, food, water, sleeping bag, first aid kit, and he puts it all into a scroll. Nakura asks, why you're not taking anything else than that? He goes, we're ninjas. We don't really need much in this. She goes, oh, that's right. So, she does exactly the same thing what Naruto does. Kushina sees this, and she's proud of Nakura for realizing this, and she's even way more prouder for Naruto, which she has been gaining way more proud of her son. Naruto's not gonna forgive her for anything what she called him or did. He's just going to be able to get along with her. That's all. And she knows this. But she's gonna try and make it up to him. So yeah. So basically, after they all group up, Team Kakashi has what ninja should have, only a few supplies, and the only one that does have it on the team of Kushina is Nakura. As they're all wondering where's all your stuff, and he goes, we just need a couple things: food, some food pills, first aid kit, sleeping bag, kunais, shurikens, not just as senbones, poison bombs, smoke screens, and a explosive tag. 5 of them at least. As they just look at Naruto, goes, that's your limited? He goes yeah. I mean, remember I was trained by Kill Azoldic, so it's necessary for me to have some items like poison, smoke bombs. And they're like, oh, okay. But really, he just has that on him, just in case. You don't know. So yeah, so after they, when they leave the village, they walk for about an hour, and then you see the puddle. Kushina, Kakashi notice this, so does, Kelly and Shota. Naruto doesn't. But all the while, though, Shota and Kelly have an argument with Nakura. It's about Naruto, which basically Kakashi goes, what the freak? As, Kushina goes, sweetie, he's your brother and all that? He was like, and then, right when they're passing the puddle, let's just say they were going after Kushina, the Demon Brothers, in which Mema tries to get in front of them. They hit him to the side. Naruto just comes out of nowhere. He kicks the one guy in the face, and he punches the other guy in the face too, but he went down to the ground, knocking out, as then he moves his body so quickly enough, he makes his hands into a claw and stab his hand through the guy's heart, all the way through, killing him. In which, he rips it out easily. He goes, I hate scum. As Kakashi goes, well done, Naruto. Hold on. I honestly do not care if you guys heard my name. This is an hour long. I have to go and get gas with my dad, so yeah, I'll be back. Hold on, everyone. Alright, I'm back, everyone. We did not leave yet, so, because my mom made my dad lunch, so basically he's gonna eat first, and then we're gonna head out. So yeah, so I may have enough time to finish this. So as Naruto, basically let them, one of the demon brothers fall to the ground, dead, Sasuke and Menma, Nakura are not used to it, while Shelta and Kelly are. So, Nakura was told by, the Nine Tails that's within her about death is a natural thing of life, so just try to get used to it, kid, that's all. You may have to kill some people to survive, at least. And she nods. So she's not wincing at it. She's fully like just looking at the Demon Bird's body, and she wants to do what Mema and Sasuke are doing. Well, Sasuke's trying not to puke. Mema is. She wants to do what Mema's doing, but she's holding it back. And then it's decided. She just just got used to it. So yeah. So Nakura looks at Naruto, something about him, and he goes, easy, information. So he brings over the guy to a tree, he ties him up, and then, well, when the guy awakes, Naruto's foot on his, the Demon Brothers, dead body, the Demon Brother he killed. So he puts his foot on, the brother's body, on his face, basically, and he goes, get your foot off my brother's face, you monster! And he goes like, nah, I don't feel like it. So, I want everything that you have information on, alright? Everything. And I'll let you live. And I don't have to, do what my master would do right now. And he goes, what would he do? As a little bit of electricity shot through both of his, he only uses one hand, so he moves his hands a little bit together, as, his fingers together, as a little bit of electricity is being shown. Going right through it, he goes, I don't have to do that to you. As he goes, wait, that's what Kilowatt Zoldyck does. He goes, oh, my master. As then all of a sudden the Demon Brother's freaking out, which which Sasuke, Mema, Nakura don't understand. Shota, Kakashi, Kushina, and Kelly understand. And he goes, oh, please, I'll tell you everything. Just let me live. As, as Naruto just kind of, takes a sniff in the air and goes like, wait, did this guy just, oh my god, he really did just pee himself. Just because I said Kilowatt's name? I guess he's that feared around here. And so he spilled the beans about the demon, about, Gato and his, Gato, Zabuza, everything. So yeah, it's just that. And so they get over, so basically he let him live, but he said he's going to turn him into, Konoha Village, as, he makes a shadow clone, and hold on. Alright, I'm back, sorry about that, just stupid phone. It doesn't usually do that sometimes, so, okay. One time thing, I guess. It just started, ringing, but anyway. So, as not, as they all learn now, how terrifying. Well, no, Mema asks, what's so special about this Kilowatt Zoldyck? As Kakashi explains, and then Mema's feared, because Kakashi says, Kilowatt Zoldyck is a highly rated assassin. Basically, the most deadly assassin in the whole entire Great Five Nations. To have him as an enemy means you're doomed. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your status. You're dead, no matter what. And for this kid to be taught by him means that he could be a potential threat to anyone who makes him angry, or to the people he care about angry. So if I were you, Mema Uzumaki, I would not say much, as he nods. And, Mema's afraid now. So yeah. So, the Demon Brother, goes to the Hidden Leaf Village, so yeah. And they say, alright, let's continue on now, as Naruto says. And everyone's like, you're not afraid? He goes, it's just Zabuza, the Demon of the Mist. It'll be easy to defeat him. Real easy. As no one knows what he's talking about. Only the two girls, Shota and Kelly. So they all walking away, walk into it. They get into the area where the fight should be. The same thing happened, but Sasuke threw at the rabbit. Naruto says white rabbits aren't supposed to be here. Substitution. Zabuza, the blade coming out of nowhere, and Naruto just sliced that thing in half with his sword, cut it right into two, which everyone's shocked by it. And he was. And basically, Zabuza, even Haku was shocked that this kid just summoned out a sword from nowhere. And then Naruto just saying, Zabuza, Demon the Mist, come on out. Let's have some fun. As basically, Zabuza appears and goes, you cut my sword in two. And as he goes, don't worry. As, he basically cuts his hand and disappears, reappears right next to the blade as the blade starts to reform from his blood. He goes, there. Happy, baby. Thanks. As you know, so Kakashi says, let me handle, as you know, Kelly and Shoto just say, let him handle it. Huh? But that's a Jonin, and he goes, ranks don't matter. Just watch. Aizawa says, I'm gonna kill you, kid. And he goes, try me. Let's dance, Demon the Mist. And so, in a blinding speed, both Zabuza and Naruto just clash and start, swinging at each other. Both parrying one another, attacking, hit for hit, blow from blow. Kakashi can't even, keep up. As Zabuza is saying, water star, water clone. As Naruto just, says, water star, water clone. As both of them are just attack, all the clones are attacking, dispersing. As Zabuza goes, what? As Naruto, unknown to anyone, he has Genjutsu around his eyes. He activated his, Sharingan. He's copying Zabuza's movements. But he also was, he also knows these moves from Killua. So, what happens is, he says, Water Star, Water Dragon. As then Naruto just says, so, he does what he did with Iki. He's able to copy them with the sword, the attacks, but use them as slash. He says, Water Star, Water Dragon, slash! And he just slashes, and it cuts right through the dragon, going all the way to Zabuza. He dodges it, and Naruto's just right next to him with sword, as he's about to hit Zabuza right in the face. Haku's about just to, throw her, his Zenbones. But Naruto stops right in the front of it, right in front of his face. He goes, you would have died if I was gonna kill you. I'm not. So, Zabuza Demon the Mist, as, one of the, legendary swordsmen of the Mist. If you're defeated in combat, you're supposed to swear your loyalty to the one who defeated you, even if you're on a mission of assassins, right? As Zabuza goes, how did you? He goes, no. There's a lot of stuff you can find out in the streets. But I was a little bit sneak into the library. So, if you want to live, swear your loyalty to me. Got it? Zabuza nods and does. And everyone's shocked by this. And so, Naruto deactivates his Sharingan. And, yeah. Everyone's, shocked by this. Besides, Kelly and Shelta. And so Haku comes out. He says, Master Zabuza, are you okay? And he goes, I'm fine, Haku. But this brat, he was stronger than I suspected. How's he able to keep all his... He's supposed to only have a Genin level chakras. I can sense it. And he goes, oh, yeah, sorry. I'm kind of holding it back with my Nen. He goes, Nen? Oh yeah, I was trained by Killua Zoldyck. As his eyes widen, he goes, then... Yep. As then he basically touches a pressure point on his head, which unleashes the Nen all over his body, and everyone can sense his chakra. As he just smiles, as Nakura goes, Mema and Nakura. Well, it's more like Nakura had a feeling since Naruto gonna transform into a fox. She just didn't want to admit it, but Shelta knows this, so does Kelly, and their faces are a little bit red. And then, Naruto's ears pop out and the tails, which everyone's like, what the? As Nakura just running over, and he goes, oh wait, crap, sister. As then she pounces on him, and she goes, fluffy ears. And he goes, thanks for ruining the moment, sis. And then we're on water. She's able to do water walking. That good side Kurama taught her it. So, she's just petting the ear. He's like, not now. She goes, fine. As he goes, what are you? He goes, look into my eyes. What do you see? Zabuza, Demon the Mist. As all he can, when Zabuza sees it, looks in his eyes, all he can see is hatred, agony, pain, screaming people. And it's basically like he's seeing the soul of a beast, and then all of a sudden disappears in Naruto's eyes. That's face. As he does say the 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 yep, I am. As Kushina goes, Naruto, you're you're yeah, I am. Doesn't matter, huh? Bamba goes, wait, how are you? He goes, it's easy. I did a little thing called the old switcheroo on you people. And this kid was already dead by the time I, you know, took over his body. And they were like, wait, what? As Nakara goes, wait, so that means I am your brother by birth, but in actuality, I am not your brother. So technically, the name's Kurama, the nine-tailed fox, everyone. As Kelly and, you know, Shelta walk over to him, and they just start like petting like his ear, one of them, each one, and he's like, "You too." As Naruto says, "Hey, get away from him! He's mine!" And she grabs on his arm as they both grab on Naruto's other arm, and they're like, and you go, "Wait, what's happening?" And all he knows is, this is awesome." So I mean, he's not dumb, but he knows what happens. He knows all these two girls technically have a crush on him. And he's just letting it happen, just playing dumb. As Kushina goes, wait. So you're the what? As then all of a sudden the Sage of Six Paths appears. And he goes, I was wondering when you were gonna tell them. The Kurama, he goes, hey Dad, what's up? He goes, As the Sage, looks at the three girls and he goes, well, who knew? He goes, hey, I didn't try, and I don't know what's happening. All I know is I don't know what's happening, and I just feel like I should say I didn't try. Which I'm not Hiruzen, which the Sage of Fifth Path puts a thumbs up. Kakashi goes, Sage of Sixth Path, he goes, well, Naruto Uzumaki, before he was even born, how should I say this, a month or two before he was born, he died. He died, but his body was still there. So, I had Kurama make a clone of himself, using a shadow clone, made it real entirely so that way it would never disappear. He basically changed his fur into white, and then I took him into chakra and soul, put it inside the boy's body, and he became human. He's here for some reason, and I'm not gonna say because no one will believe me. Well, no one in this group would admit it, and that you're not allowed to say anything. As in, he starts to weave some hand signs. So he uses on Menma and Kushina. Kakashi's not gonna say nothing. Which, Kushina and Menma are like, what's this? He goes, oh, these are seals. You're not allowed to say nothing to Minato or the village about who Naruto is. These will last for a very long time. They'll never weaken. And Naruto, what should I say, Kurama, as then he brings out a scroll, can only release them. He gives it the scroll, and then Kurama reads it, throws it in the air, just fires off all the jutsu and burns it away. And he looks at Sasuke, says, you're not going to say nothing? He goes, no. Honestly, this is actually a little bit more fun. Knowing that you're the Nine Tails. How much chakra do you hand your body with chakra? He goes, no, I trained. My whole entire chakra network was sealed off when I was born because of him. As he points to the Sage of Six Paths, which he says, yes. Which Kushina goes, wait, so that means he could have no chakra control because of that. And he goes, yes. And that his whole entire body was his training without chakra at all. Which Kushina remembers that day, and all of a sudden, a little trickle of blood starting to come out. She holds up, just wipes away it real quick, as Naruto just smiles at this. He goes, you still can't forget that day, huh? As Sasuke goes, did she? He goes, yep. As he just starts laughing like crazy. Menma's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Why did mom, why is Sasuke laughing? He goes, remember that time where when we were younger, Sasuke blew off my shirt with a fireball jutsu, it destroyed it? He goes, yeah. And all the girls faint and had nosebleeds besides Makara. Yeah. Kushina and her saw me already like that, so. Yeah. And then he goes, Wait, how do you look now? He was like, I'm not showing. I'm not doing that. I'm not having no frick. I'm not gonna get killed like girls later on in my life. As he goes, let's just go then. As he's just walking away. As Kushina just stays there and asks, "Is he the?" As he nods and disappears. As Kushina is in shock. Venma is not the child of prophecy. She thinks it's Naruto, aka Kurama. She goes, "Wait a minute!" As the stage of six paths is disappearing, she goes, "If Kurama's supposed to, be the chosen, the prophecy child, Venma does not is not nearby to hear this. Then why is was it supposed to be Naruto all along?" As he nods, saying yes. But since he died, I need to have someone fill in. So my son is fulfilling the prophecy. And he is doing a pretty good job. He does not know what the prophecy is. All he knows is this one, he'll bring peace. And so he is doing it in a way where he's not himself. He has human emotions now, so he has compassion. So he has learned to care for someone. And that's why he will do anything for that person. And the stage facts are gone. It's gone. As Kushina gets back up with Kakashi, along with Zabuza and Haku, Tazuna is shocked by this. He just asked the question. He goes, "So wait, you're the actual Ninetales, like full on big giant fox destroying the Hidden Leaf?" He goes, "Yeah, it was actually Uchiha who basically who would have actually tried to unlock Kushina, try to get me out of Kushina if I did what I did. So the clone did. He destroyed the village, and yeah, I mean it's not that bad. I mean, live in a village that hates you, kind of boring. Everyone tries to kill you, which was technically the most fun I had at my childhood. Which Sasuke goes like people try to kill you. That was fun for you. It was like yes. I mean, because they were just way too slow, and I always get to mock them about it. Even the Jonins were. And I did not have no chakra at the time, so imagine that. As Sasuke goes like, "Can you train me, please? Train me." And he goes, "Wait, what the freak?" As he looks back at Sasuke, he's on his hands and knees and just begging to be trained by him. He's like, Ichiha, you okay? You're not, having a stroke. You're not, going through nothing. Are you under a genjutsu? I mean, come on." As "No, please train me." He goes, "No." He goes, "Why not?" He was like, "Because when I went through training as an assassin, you do not want to go through. Also, you do not. I mean, if you want to learn how to use a sword, I could train you in that." He goes, "Yes, please." He goes, "All right. Well, then we're gonna have to find you one. So we're gonna see if there's a blacksmith in the town that we're going to. If there is, then we're gonna see if we can forge a sword for you. Or when we get back to the village, I'm gonna just ask my teacher Iki to, if he has a sword for you." And he goes, "Yes, thank you, Naruto. I mean, Kurama. Just call me Naruto for now. Not Uzumaki though. Otosuki or just Naruto or Kurama doesn't really matter to me anymore. I mean, I'm gonna change my name sooner or later. Why not sooner when we get back to the village to Kurama?" And yeah, as basically they have to Naruto looks at Kelly, Shel- Shelta, and Nakara. He goes, "So girls, are you?" As then all of a sudden he just sees all three of them fighting each other. One of them threw a punch, another one threw a kick. Another one just trying to use a jutsu on another one. As no, basically he sees Kushina and Kakashi trying to stop them. As basically he goes, "How long have they been doing this?" Menma has been saying 10 minutes. "Do you know what's going on?" Naruto says, "Nope, not really." And what she's just thinking, "I know what's going on. I just don't care. I'm not stopping this." And so he's just playing dumb. And so after the fight is stopping, Kakashi says, "Okay, why did this happen?" And basically Kelly and Shota saying, "She said, he's, hers." And then we said, "No, he's ours." And basically he goes, "Huh? Am I really anyone's?" And Nakara, Kelly, and Shota saying, "Yes, you're mine." As he goes, "What does that mean?" And when he goes, he's just saying to himself, "I know what that means. I just don't care." Really. it just left because they all look at him like he's like Mema and Sasuke looks at him as he's stupid. So yeah, I mean that's what he looks at. He just asked them, "Do you know what they're talking about, Mema, Sasuke?" They say, "Are you?" No, no, I don't care. Even if you're in the Nine Tails, you don't know. He goes like, "What? Sorry, don't know." He just shrugs and he just starts walking away. And basically, Kushina does say to Nakara saying, "He's still your brother." He goes, "No, he's not. It's okay. He's not my brother, technically. My brother died. That's just the Ninetales using his body, made it his own. Basically, he's not really my brother. He's basically a tail beast." So guess what that means? Here's what. I mean, it's alright if I like him. Which she has told her mom that she technically had feelings for Naruto. Right around after the whole entire, she found out that he was protecting her from bullies. So, yeah, she just fell in love. She had a crush on Naruto. Shota and Kelly know Naruto long as seeing him what he did, or should I say Kurama. So she loves him. Kelly is well, she likes Naruto for his personality and how strong he is. She put out in the month that she actually does like him. So yeah. So that's it. That's all they find out. They get over to Tatsuna's place, and the kid says exactly the same thing. Kurama just says, "All right, someone died. Big deal. Big whoop." I mean, they die all the time, kid. At least you don't have no one hating you and trying to use you as a weapon, trying to even force you to do things that you don't want to do. I mean, actuality, imagine your whole entire family being that way, being used as weapons, nothing else. They don't see you as living creatures. They just see you as a massive amount of power, hunt you down, fight you, hurt you, and then try to use you by sealing you inside of someone and be used as a weapon. Even the person that you are inside, sealed inside, is treated like a monster by the villagers of that village. So, you want to say you have the worst of life? Kid, you have a house. The people in your village don't even have anything. They have to sleep outside, some of them. They don't have any proper clothing while you do. And you complain about how your life stinks and how we're gonna die? Yeah, kid. Tell that to me when you're basically old enough to even say that. And when you actually know a few things about life. Got it, kid? As Naruto just walks out of the house and just leaves. As Tazuna's grandson basically says, "What's wrong with him?" As he says, "My grandson, that was the nine-tailed fox," which Tazuna's family is shocked about, and he asks how, as they explain what the sages say Paps told them, and yeah, so the kid feels bad now, and then he comes back in with a freaking thing of fish. He just said he just went out, cooled off by catching some fish, and then he's gonna cook it now. Anyone want anything? As the kid said, sorry. He just passed the kid on the head saying it's alright. But I'm sorry about your hat. Because I had some blood from the fish on my hands, so yeah. But anyways, the kid freaks out a little bit, but then laughs about it. And yeah, so that's where we're ending this off. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is very long, I know, I'm sorry. But anyways, bye everyone. Have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and I am going to be going how it ends. Well, I'm gonna play my game after I get bed for a couple, like 2 hours or so, and do my homework, and this is gonna come out around 5 something. I mean, like, it's gonna be uploaded around 5 something. So, bye everyone.